of it. But Feed the Birds was one of the early songs we wrote for Mary Poppins when we were first, before we worked for the studio, we just were coming up with ideas for how to handle this particular wonderful book that Walt handed us. And we read this one chapter that Mrs. Travers, the lady who wrote the books, had written about a lady who sells breadcrumbs. And there was no meaning behind it because there was no storyline in her books. They were just incidents and chapters. And so we had this concept of a dysfunctional family that Mary Poppins flies in and straightens them out and gives them life lessons and flies away again. And we read this one chapter, and it struck both of us as this could be the key to the entire movie, right here. This is what it's all about. It's not saying it, but it says it doesn't take much to give love, to give kindness. And the father and the mother are too busy doing their things to give that little tuppence a bag, that little bit of kindness that doesn't cost anything to their kids. So Mary Poppins teaches them through her teachings how to do it. And so we said, we're not going to say anything about that. We're not going to say be kind and loving and all those words that come to your mind. Let's just say, feed the birds, tuppence a bag. It'll seep through somehow, they'll get it. So basically, that's what we did. We wrote a song, and we were very inspired with it, I must say, and we wrote it. Learned that Walt adored that song. And I'll tell you a little story about that after I play it for you. Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes. In her own special way, to the people she calls, come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. Their young ones are hungry, their nests are so bare. All it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see it, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Story about the song. From the time we played it for him, when we first played it for Walt, we were playing him a whole bunch of ideas we had and telling him how we could handle the treatment for a book to make a musical out of it. And at the end of this meeting, we had a long meeting, he said, play me that bird lady thing again. So I played it as much as we had of it. We hadn't completed the song yet. But we played what we had, and he listened to it carefully, and he said, that's the key to the whole picture, right? We said, that's right, Walt, you got it right. He says, yeah, how'd you like to come work here? And that's the day he hired us. That is the day he put us on the spell. In the ensuing 7 years, we worked the better part of 7 years for him while he was alive. And in those 7 years, many a Friday afternoon, he'd call us into his office after a long, busy week on a Friday usually, and he'd say, play it. And I, like Sam, you know, play it again. And I just sat down, I played that song, sang it for him, and he'd say, have a good weekend, boys, thanks. So now, flash ahead 40 years later, and they were, this is about 10 years ago, they were dedicating the wonderful partner statue, that wonderful Blaine Gibson statue of Walt and Mickey Mouse holding hands, looking, you know, he's pointing up in the sky. It's a great statue, and they were dedicating it on Walt's 100th birthday. And I was asked to be one of the people to speak or say something. I was going to sing some songs that we did for the parks. And so sure, we were doing that down at Disneyland. It was appropriate. And there was Walt's statue right behind. And it was, I'll never forget this as long as I live. We were asked to do the songs, and so I played Small World and the Tiki Room and Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, things that were written for the park. And at one point, and everybody was enjoying it, and at one point I said, this I'm not going to sing for you. I said to the audience, 2,000 people on Main Street, and I said, this is for Walt, because he used to have me do this thing. I'm saying this time it's for him. And I sang the same song, Feed the Birds. Now as I was coming to the end of the song, Tuppence a bag, that little spot there, one bird flew out of an absolute cloudless sky. One bird, right over the piano. And I could hear an intake of 2,000 voices, like that. As he flew away, I could hear it, it was there. And I said, what was that? Because I didn't know the bird had flown down. And Tim O'Day, the fellow who's the producer of this show, he said, well, Walt came down and said, thank you. And it's true, I know it. He did, because I saw the video of it, and there was the bird and everything, so thank you.